Do you keep saying sorry but no one forgives you? We've all done things we regret. Sometimes when we do things and we regret them, we just need to say sorry. But you only need to say sorry if you did something wrong. Don't apologize just because somebody else is upset or because they don't agree with you. Many people avoid apologizing, or when they try to do it, their apologies are only half-baked, and then other people get upset about it, and it goes around and around like that. For example, what would you do if you got an email from your boss because you missed a really important meeting? You knew about the meeting, but unfortunately, you put it on the wrong day on your calendar and you totally missed it. What would you say? You might panic and start to feel worried, or you could just simply say, I'm sorry. But there is a much better process for how to apologize when you've made a mistake in English, and you can do it gracefully. That's exactly what I'm gonna help you to do in this video. Plus, you're gonna learn some fun idioms and some really surprising words that we use in English to talk about mistakes. So, let's get started. Basically, when you're apologizing for a mistake, this means that you admit that you've made the mistake. Obviously, this is actually the hardest part. None of us likes to admit that we've made a mistake. We want to believe that it's always other people, but if we don't admit to the mistake, if we try to hide it or cover it up, it usually leads to much bigger problems, and it comes back to bite us in the end. First, name a mistake and take full responsibility. Don't be vague about what you did. Here are some simple phrases that you can use to name the mistake and take full responsibility. For example, I take full responsibility for, and then name the mistake. Or say what you did specifically and then say, this was my mistake. I was wrong too, and then name the mistake. It's a common oversight not to say what you did specifically, and this could be because the person is embarrassed and they don't want to draw more attention to what they did wrong. Now we'll talk about the words and phrases that you can use if you want to apologize about something you did. First, sorry. This is the most basic word you can use. For example, if you step on someone's shoes, you can say, I'm sorry. So if you want to say a little more than that, you can say, I'm very sorry. And if you want to go even further, you can put an interesting word in between the I am and the sorry, like, I'm so sorry. I'm incredibly sorry. I'm terribly sorry. I'm really sorry. And one more trick for the word sorry is we can use it when we didn't hear what somebody else said to us. You can point your hand or your finger to your ears and say, sorry. All right. And number 2 is, I didn't mean it. Here we want to talk a little bit more about our mistakes or about what we did wrong. The phrase, I didn't mean to, means that we don't want to do something bad. We didn't plan to do something bad. There was no plan to cause a problem or to hurt someone. We didn't want something bad to happen. For example, let's say that you were at a friend's house and you were drinking tea, but suddenly you dropped the tea by mistake and spilled it all over their carpet. You can say, sorry, I didn't mean it, or sorry, I didn't mean to ruin your carpet. That shows that you regret spilling the tea on the carpet and you care about your friend's feelings. And number 3 is, excuse me. This can be used in a variety of situations. If you need to get past and someone is blocking your way, you can say, oh, excuse me, can I get through? You can also say it when your body lets out some gas. You can say, oh, excuse me, but I don't hope you will get in such situations, so be careful of what you're eating. And also you can use it to get people's attention. You can say, excuse me everyone, can you listen to me now? And number 4 is, it's my fault. So imagine you feel terrible. You did something wrong and you want to tell someone that you did something wrong. You can say, it's my fault, which means it's my mistake. Or sometimes maybe you didn't do anything wrong, and if this is the case, you can say, it's his fault, or it's her fault, or it's your fault, meaning it's his mistake. It's her mistake. It's your mistake. When you're apologizing though, usually you're apologizing because you did something wrong. So you'll probably say, it's my fault. And number 5, I regret. Regret means feeling sad and repentant and kind of wishing you would never ever done this mistake. So you've done something so wrong that you just regret all of the events that led to it and the event itself, and you just kind of like wish it never existed. Now we hear this all the time in connection with romantic relationship. It's one of those words that just comes with it. I regret. You can also use regret when you want to reject someone's invitation to an event or to a visit. If you have a friend who invited you to dinner and you're busy at that time, you can write to them and say, I regret to tell you that I won't be available at that time. This shows that you're sorry that you can't go, and maybe you're gonna go in the future. And number 6, I shouldn't have. This means that you wished you hadn't done something wrong. For example, you can say, I shouldn't have said that. that. We use this a lot in English when you say something and then, you're really angry with someone and you say something and then you think, oh, that was a bad thing to say. I shouldn't have said that. Or maybe when you're late to a meeting, you can say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been late. And when you're sorry that you've done something that you wish you'd never done, or you know that you should never do, you can say, I shouldn't have done that. And number 7, pardon me. That means exactly the same as excuse me, but with an additional meaning. Pardon me we can use in the same way as excuse me, but also if we want to interrupt a conversation, we can say, oh, pardon me, may I just butt in here? And make sure that you're using to butt in with someone close to you, because other people might not think it's a polite way to use in conversation with strangers. And number 8, my bad. My bad is a very informal way to apologize. Some people may not consider it even an apology. It's kind of like saying, yeah, I've made a little mistake, but I don't care enough about it to apologize. So you can just say, my bad. But don't get me wrong, it's used in conversation for sure, and you can use it to apologize, but not when you're apologizing for something big. You know what I mean. And number 9, I take full responsibility. This is probably as professional as it comes. It's definitely work approved, so you can use this at work when you've made a mistake, whether big or small. And many times you can use it with, I take full responsibility for my actions. I take full responsibility for my behavior. I take full responsibility for any damage I may have caused. The reason why I'm adding all of these is because this is probably one of the most formal ways you can apologize with. You're being honest and you're being serious. You're willing to admit your mistake and you're doing it in a professional way. And number 10, I would like to apologize. Now this one can be used safely in a work context. If you make a mistake, you can always say, I would like to apologize. It's sincere, it's professional, and it gets the message across. So you can say, I'd like to apologize. So how to apologize for being late? For example, to give someone an appointment and be late is a bad thing. And in some countries, they take it as disrespect for the person. So being late is really rude. And the most basic one is, sorry I'm late, or sorry for being late. Or if you want to be super respectful, you can say, sorry for keeping you waiting. I hope this video has given you some insight into the importance of apologizing. We all make mistakes, and it's important to take responsibility for our actions. Apologizing can be difficult, but it's a necessary step in restoring relationships and moving forward. So if you've wronged someone, don't be afraid to apologize. It is the right thing to do, and people will respect you for it. If you like this video, I suggest you watch this video right here to learn how to start thinking in English and stop translating in your head. I'll see you right there.